Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am playing in my December project album. Now I know it is January, you guys, but my album is not complete. So that means I am still going to be working on it. So I'm going to just work on it for a little while until, I'm done playing with it. And we'll see how many stories I get to. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I was actually able to do 2 pages today in my December project, and there might be times where I'm just kind of staring at things because I am scrapbooking with my friend Sharon at this time, and we have things to chat and catch up on. So I'm taking this 6x8 white piece of paper and I'm cutting apart the other papers so that I can create a new page. So I have this little holly paper. I'm going to place this gold tape over it, and then I realized that that wasn't thick enough, so I need to add another layer. I'm going to go ahead and grab a layer of black washi tape, and of course I am using my grid mat to make sure everything is lined up nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap that around as well, and then I'm going to go ahead and get that top piece put down over top of the paper. So I really like what I have created here. I like it much better than that pre-made page that was there, which is pretty on point for me. So usually the pre-made papers that come in these kind of albums, I usually add something or decorate them a little bit more or do something to them because they aren't exactly what I want to use. So now I am going to go ahead and change over the background on this snowman because I was thinking that this was going to be the page for this side of the paper. So the snowman and card and shaker pocket over here is something that I have done already. I had pre-done it for a Brutus Monroe assignment, and then I knew that I was going to have baking on the other side. So the plan was to have Lana on this page, and actually, do I end up keeping Lana on this page? I can't even remember. I do. I end up keeping Lana on this page. I did mess around with the idea of mixing it up, but Lana stays on the page. So this will be day, or not day 19 necessarily, but story 19. And then we will get 18 done on the other side. So I go ahead and I use this sticker that says traditions on here. And this is actually a new kind of tradition because I didn't do any of the Christmas baking this year. When Chloe and Lana came home, they did the baking. So now I have pulled out my little bits, and you can see all my die cuts are in this little plastic storage container now because I did get a chance to kind of straighten up the whole December project situation. You guys know it was definitely a situation, and it was kind of all over the place, and it was just a little bit too messy for me to actually enjoy the creating anymore. It was just getting a little bit too much. So I straightened that up. Now I am just, adding in little bits and bobs and tucking things in. I had to cut into the banner a little bit more so it would slide into my sticker a little bit better. And then I'm going to poke a hole here so that I can get one of these brads in here as well. Now I am using a brad tool, and then of course I'm going to put the washi tape on the back side of it because I don't want those brad tines ruining anything on the opposite side. So I dollop a couple little dots of glue down, and I'm going to put down my super sparkly favorite sequins. These are from Brutus Monroe. I'm just going to get them on the page so that they give me a little bit of decoration there. Now I do think I'm going to change my journaling, which sounds weird, But the journaling talks about the 2 mixers, and my plan was to have a photo with the baking with the 2 mixers. But since instead I have a photo of Lana baking and the tradition has changed a little bit, I'm probably going to redo the journaling, but I didn't feel like taking it down in that moment. So I am trying to figure out what story I want to tell. So I grabbed this screenshot photograph, and I decide that this is the story I'm going to tell because this is a 3x4 photo and the other photos are a little bit smaller than that. So this photo is me standing in our loft area, which is where my business area is. Like I have it's over here. And you can see our bedroom through the door. So there is a Christmas tree in our bedroom. And every time I would turn to look at it, I thought somebody was standing there. And that happened. So when I thought somebody was standing there, the first time I charged the room. I charged the room. So I texted the picture to my husband and sent him a message and said that my fight or flight was definitely fight. So I figured that would be a little story to tell as well. So I'm trying to figure out how in the world I want this to happen. All the while I'm running my mouth with Sharon and we are having a grand old time chatting. She is scrapbooking her beautiful puppies and I am scrapbooking Christmas. So my ATG decides to be a butt, and I completely forgot about this, or I would have cut it out of the video, but sometimes it just happens. So I reset it and get it going again so that I can add the adhesive onto my paper. And of course I am using my grid mat to keep everything straight. Now I wanted to use this beautiful embossed paper. I thought I was going to be able to go ahead and punch a shape out so that I could put my number on it. It turned out I could not do that. So I went ahead and put that back. I will get that beautiful embossed paper again in my album. It is on the title page, but it's going to be on another place in this album for sure. I go ahead and cut out this Christmas tree out of a 3x4 card, and I leave a little bit of white on the outside of the red outline. And then I decide I don't like that, so I cut off the white next, and then I'm going to adhere it onto the layout right here. So I was thinking that this greenery was going to go on the page somewhere. Ultimately, it does not make it on there, you guys. I thought it was, but it doesn't. So I'm going to flip through my die cuts, and then I discover that I have some greenery bits on here, and then I have this Christmas tree that is a little bit of a darker shade, and I like the darker shade. But I decide that I'm going to layer it on top of the Christmas tree that's already there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss the Christmas tree, and then I'm going to add sparkly bits where the ornaments are. So I dip it straight into my icicle embossing powder. And then I'm going to get my heat gun and I'm going to emboss the Christmas tree. So I do make sure to heat it up a little bit before it makes it onto the page, and then the magic happens and it's so good. So I did toy with the idea of putting a second layer on top of my Christmas tree. Ultimately, I decided against that because I wanted to make sure that the little sparkly bits that I was going to put on were center stage. So I'm going to dollop glue on every single one of these Christmas balls that are on the tree, and then I'm going to take my favorite super sparkly sequins and go ahead and place them right on top. Now you might think that that is a lot of sparkle in such a little place, but you know what? I love me some sparkle. I love sparkly bits. I especially love sparkly bits in my December project, so there it is. Now this December project, obviously still going on, even though it's January, and I'm cool with that because I'm just taking the time and enjoying it while I am doing it. Now, will I finish my December project here shortly? Yes, I will. It's not like I'm going to hold off and because December is done, I'm not going to scrapbook it anymore. I will finish it, and then it'll go out on the shelf with the other December projects. But apparently I'm going to sit here and talk with Sharon for a few minutes and no idea what I'm doing here, guys. I don't know, like playing patty cake, I don't know, singing Miss Mary Mac, who knows. But I go ahead and I wanted to put on this Deck the Halls because I thought it was kind of funny with like fight or flight, like deck, but it didn't exactly fit. If I wouldn't have put the Christmas tree there, it probably could have worked. But I decided that the Christmas tree needed to go there. So I have these two little admit one tickets, and I decide to put them underneath of the greenery. And at first I was going to put this black tab over here on the plaid paper, but ultimately that gets changed. I end up doing something else. My numbers end up going over here, which is day 18. Now I'm not going to add any journaling to this specific page because I feel like the text message conveys everything that needs to happen. It like conveys the entire story. There isn't something I need to worry about putting on extra words. I thought about adding on that green tab and I really liked the look of it, but if I put that tab there, then it would kind of cover up really where my number needed to go, and I didn't want that to happen. So I am going to mess around and look around for bits and bobs and try to figure out what in the world I am going to do. I even thought about bringing in this black word that says December. Ultimately, it doesn't make it on the page. I really am struggling to figure out where to put the 18 and how to add a little bit of decoration to it. I thought my problem was my 18 needed to be on a different pattern paper, and I quickly realized that that was not the problem. The problem was I needed more decoration around the 18. I didn't need another layer of paper. So ultimately, I figured that out. I'm going to go into my die cuts again and try to find something that will work eventually after I keep playing with the numbers. And I do find another bit of greenery, and this one has a pine cone on it. The greenery that is behind the tree does not. Oh, that's right. First, I'm going to try the holly and berries. And I really like the holly and berries, but ultimately I decided not to go with that. I decided to go with the die cut instead. So, oh, that's right. I also tried the tag. Tag didn't work either. But now I do have the die cut here, and I'm going to tuck that in. I cut off a little bit of the white space around the die cut so that I can kind of tuck it into the paper a little bit better. And then my 18 is going to go right on top of that. And I am going to use some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to go ahead and get those down. And then I add a little bit of adhesive there, and that's going to do it, you guys. Now I have story 18 and story 19 finished in my December project. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me as I create it, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.